Your willingness to continue to promote a demonstrably false narrative is alarming. The findings of the special counsel conclusively refute your past and present assertions and have exposed you as having abused your position to knowingly promote false information. As such, we have no faith in your ability to discharge your duties in a manner consistent with your constitutional responsibility and urge your immediate resignation as chairman of the committee.
9 Republicans just walked into Adam Schiff's committee room and dropped a bomb on his entire career. This man spent his entire career plastering himself across every camera in America, screaming Russian asset, screaming traitor, screaming the President of the United States was a foreign spy. He swore he had evidence. He looked America in the face and lied. Then Mueller comes out and finds nothing. No collusion. No conspiracy. Not even close. And Schiff? Not one apology. Not 1 ounce of accountability. He just sits there like he didn't destroy public trust in this country for sport. Mike Conaway said what needed to be said. You are a fraud, you abused your power, and you need to get out of that chair. Smash that like button, subscribe right now, and don't you dare leave, because after this clip I am going to expose every dirty trick Schiff pulled in that room. Every single one.
I'm going to turn to our witnesses who are the subject of the hearing today, but before I do, and as you have chosen, instead of addressing the hearing to simply attack me, consistent with the President's attacks, I do want to respond in this way. My colleagues may think it's okay that the Russians offered dirt on a Democratic candidate for president as part of what was described as the Russian government's effort to help the Trump campaign. You might think that's okay. My colleagues might think it's okay that when that was offered to the son of the president, who had a pivotal role in the campaign, that the president's son did not call the FBI. He did not adamantly refuse that foreign help. No, instead, that son said that he would love the help of the Russians. I think it's immoral. I think it's unethical. I think it's unpatriotic. And yes, I think it's corrupt and evidence of collusion. Now, I have always said that the question of whether this amounts to proof of conspiracy was another matter. Whether the special counsel could prove beyond a reasonable doubt the proof of that crime would be up to the special counsel, and I would accept his decision, and I do. Mr. Ambassador, you are recognized for your opening statement. I will not yield. Mr. Ambassador, you
gentlemen, yield because you just made some things about all of us that I think we all should get the opportunity to respond to. If you're going to say we think, you ought to allow us to speak of what we think.
You can use your 5 minutes to speak. You attacked me in your opening statement, and I responded.
I have not had an opportunity to respond at all, especially to your statements of what we think, because no one over here thinks that. No one over here. I mean, you cannot speak for us. You cannot speak for us.
Ms. Turner, you're not recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I'm asking for your resignation today because I believe you are advancing Putin's work. I believe the chair has abused his power in these processes, and he's misrepresenting the information that we've received in classified sessions. Now, Mr. Chairman, when this body understood that McCarthyism was something to be rejected, it for years watched it. But you are using that.
Gentleman from California withdraws point of order, who seeks recognition. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, much as I don't like certain parts of the Mazur decision, it clearly applies in this case, and the committee is required to engage with the White House in order to seek an accommodation over materials held by a private party, as they were in the Mazur's case, and seek to resolve this with the White House. So I would ask unanimous consent that we enter into the record your correspondence to the White House.
Without objection.
Seeking to engage them to resolve this, and I thank the chairman for not objecting. Can you produce that correspondence to the White House asking for accommodation on these materials you sought by this subpoena?
First time they reached out to us was 2 days ago.
Yes, and of course the author expressed the concern that these materials may implicate interests of the executive. I think that was weeks ago. But having admitted without dissent your correspondence to the White House, can you produce that for us where you have sought an accommodation, where you've sought to work this out with the White House? Can you share that with us since that is now part of the record?
Well, I thought you had it. You wanted to enter it into the record.
I do. I presume that, knowing your responsibilities, you have sought to engage the White House. So,
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Produce
Gentleman's
the.
recognized for point of order.
I think a unanimous consent request to submit something to the record is where the person who's asking for the floor is the proponent of submitting information that member has. I don't believe it's appropriate to ask a unanimous consent request to engage in a colloquy over discovering information or obtaining information from another member of the committee.
Great, and that's why I said that no objection to the unanimous consent request. If the gentleman from California wants to talk about that and present it to us, God bless him. He's allowed to do it. So it's 5 minutes.
I would like clarification from the chairman. Does this mean that there is no correspondence from you to the White House seeking accommodation on this material?
We've had all kinds of correspondence with the White House on this broad subject relative to the Zwonitzer and the letter we got 2 days ago. We've not corresponded with the White House yet. If we will, we may. That's a decision we'll make.
And you have not corresponded with the White House seeking accommodation ever since the author who you are subpoenaing and seeking to hold in contempt articulated the view that there was executive interest and potential privilege over this material. You haven't sought to engage over the weeks since you received that communication?
We have not engaged with the White House since the letter on the 25th of this month, 2 days ago.
And prior to that time, did you engage the White House in an effort to obtain these materials?
All kinds of engagements with our counsel and counsel, both
I'm talking about
the Justice Department and White House with our counsel over the last several months relative to the special counsel
this subpoena, Mr. Chairman. Did you engage with the White House at any time in the last several weeks since issuing this subpoena, the one you want to hold this witness in contempt for? Did you ever engage with the White House in an effort to accommodate, an effort to reach an agreement, an effort to prevent this from having to be litigated? Did you ever write any correspondence, make any call to the White House seeking to engage, seeking to get these materials that you're seeking from the author instead from the White House? Did you ever do that, Mr. Chairman?
We're seeking documents from a private individual who I might add tried to destroy the
So
evidence.
I guess the question is, I guess the answer is no.
Since 2
I guess
days
the answer is no.
The answer is since 2 days ago, I'm not
asking the question about since 2 days ago, although nothing
That's when they
prevented
first raised the concern.
Nothing prevented you from writing a letter within the last 2 days or reaching out to the White House before this.
Now you want me to be clairvoyant and read the White House's mind and write a letter before they tell us something?
Nothing prevented you from seeking these materials from the White House.
California is known
for months, Mr. Chairman. For months.
I'm not a mind reader.
And I thank you for making a very clean record for any court that will look at this.
That you never sought an
accommodation
months ago the White House could have raised the concern, and they
obtain
didn't.
these documents. Because your first move, of course, is to go right to contempt. Ironically, of course, for a chairman who was in contempt of his own subpoena.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
We're still waiting for you to testify and meet the obligations of your own subpoena, Mr. Chairman. But nevertheless, I appreciate you're making such a clean record for any court in this case that you have never sought an accommodation, never written to the White House, never called the White House, never had a communication with the White House in order to obtain these materials as part of an accommodation. Thank you for that very clean record for the court, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Who seeks recognition?
Here is what just happened. Mike Conaway handed Adam Schiff his entire legacy on a silver platter and said, "This is worthless." The special counsel blew up everything Schiff built his chairmanship on. Every leak, every press conference, every dramatic TV appearance. All of it was a performance, and Republicans finally had the backbone to say it out loud in his own committee room. And what does Schiff do when cornered? Watch the pivot. He does not apologize. He does not address a single thing Conaway said. Instead, he launches into this speech about ethics and morality. You might think that's okay, and my colleagues might think that's okay. That is a con man's move. That is what you do when you have no defense. You change the subject and you play the moral high ground like you didn't just spend 2 years accusing an American president of being a Russian spy with zero proof. Mike Turner called it McCarthyism and he was dead right. Schiff weaponized the most powerful intelligence committee in the country to go after his political enemies. He leaked classified information. He misrepresented what was said behind closed doors. And when the truth came out, he just kept going. And then Pelosi swoops in at the end, so proud of Adam Schiff. Of course she is. The swamp protects its own. But the American people are not fooled. Schiff is not an intel chairman. He is a political operative with a gavel. And those Republicans proved it.